The teams want to have like bragging rights, want to come back and beat the other team, just something fun. And the final one is company outings. This will go under communication and trust building. Some examples: you go to sports games, volunteer work, retreats. The point of this, you want to boost the morale of the company. They're having fun. They're building relationships with each other. A real example, I know some companies go on picnics, and each employee will be designated to bring a food or a drink. It's the good thing about it's in a casual setting. You're talking about most likely, hopefully, non-work related things. You're getting to know each other on a personal level. They bring yard games, some more lines of friendly competition, and you're inviting the families. So you're getting to know not just your coworkers better, but their family. The purpose. So you're getting comfortable with the people you're working with on a personal level, not just in the workplace. You're communicating with them. Another purpose, it could be a fun thing to do after a long week of work. There's drinks there, just take the edge off. It could be also an incentive to do well at work, because then at the end of the week, you feel like you deserve to do these activities. And then again, you're building trust with these people. You're meeting their families that you don't even know, and you're building outside of work relationships. Right, so my personal experience, I worked at last summer High Elevations. It's a trampoline park in Sewell. It wasn't a serious job, but mostly the employees were 17 to 21, and there's different positions. There was court monitor who watched over the people jump. There was a cafeteria, the cashier, and the party host who hosted the birthday parties. So what is it? It's a trampoline park. We worked alone mainly, but the managers wanted us to all be friends so we can have a good dynamic. So what they did, before and after shifts, we were allowed to jump around the trampolines. There's a foam pit, there's a basketball court, there's like a dodgeball court, so we were allowed to just play and hang out, whatever. And then during the week, there were sign-ups for a dodgeball game at the end of the week, and everyone would sign up on a team, and then at the end of the week, after work, we'd have like a dodgeball game with our coworkers. And then we were encouraged to hang out on the weekends, which I thought was helpful because they wanted us all to become friends. Which I know you're working alone, but it's just you're more happy when you go to work, when you know the people and you're friends with them, and when you're happy and the customers see you're happy and they'll be happy. It's just good marketing strategy to have them come back. So personally, I think it was very effective because I actually met two of my closest friends who I didn't even know going into working there, and now we're really good friends. I enjoyed going to work. I was happy when I went there. It was a great time. And I personally believe you can use these strategies to enhance your work environment. So to recap, I talked about team building activities, why they're important, the few different types, and my personal experience. And now here's Luke Coffey talking about compensation and benefits.
Hey guys, I'm Luke. I'm going to be talking about the only reason we go and do the jobs that we don't feel like doing, and that is for the compensation and for the benefits. This is really important because it's like one of the biggest bosses thus far has said, ain't nothing more important than the moolah. Hallelujah. A pay is sort of the value that is put onto a job. It shows an individual how much they are worth or how much they are not worth. You want to make sure your pay is up to par on what they are, so it's important that you make a decision about the pay. Your pay has to make sure it shows someone that they are worth something, or they're really not worth something. You don't really plan on keeping them around. And if they see that you've made a decision that they're not worth keeping around, money talks. We know the rest. So we'll get rid of that. You also want to make sure that the pay you make is fair. If you're not making a fair pay, someone's going to leave. But they also want to make sure that someone up here doesn't receive the same amount of money as someone down here. And they're going to look down the hierarchy, and they're going to look down at other people at different areas, and they're going to make sure that their pay is equal to what they should be receiving. So when you're doing that, you're also going to want to make sure that you're placing these people in the correct jobs based on their education, based on their experience, based on their knowledge, based on their attributes, on the things that they can bring. Because if their pay doesn't match the placement of their job, again, they're going to leave. And you don't want your people leaving. It doesn't show that you're a good company. And it's just the same thing. One of the things you're going to want to do is create a variable pay. And a variable pay is sort of implementing an individual goal that someone can meet. Not that that's like an impossible goal that's not going to be met. you want to make sure that they can meet this goal in order for them to see that they can get more money. It's sort of a reward-based program. And it needs to be successful. And the way to make it successful is to make sure that you're giving them the resources that they need in order to reach this goal that you have set them, either as an individual or in a group. Because if you're not giving them the resources, then they're not going to do it. But the fact is, they might not do it. So you're going to have to account for that. If they don't do it, well, that's on them. This is not a performance bonus, though. A performance bonus is very different. A performance bonus can be earned once, twice, 3 times a year, once, or just not at all, because it's a bonus and that's how it works. Bonuses, unfortunately for us, we're going to start as little guys, are not usually there. They're more at the upper class. And what we want to do is we want to take as much overtime as we can get. Overtime is our best friend because we make time and a half, we all know that, on any hour over. And it can't be waived for any reason. We like that. We want more money. It's the only reason we go to work. So you're going to want to get as much overtime as you can. That's our thing. That's the little guy's thing. Next, I want to talk to you guys about benefits. Benefits are complex. And there's a couple that are meant to be there. They're the law. They have to be there. And there's a couple that our HR departments have picked out for us in order to fit our jobs. So what we're going to want to do is go into a job and make sure that our benefits are there. The complexity of benefits kind of goes beyond what I know. I personally don't know everything about every benefit that is made, but I do know that there are a couple made by the law, and I can tell you guys about those ones. That's amazing. So the benefits required by law, like I said, they have to be there. They come out of our paycheck, but they do kind of help us, even though it sucks that we get money taken out of our hard-earned cash, get taken out of our pockets for Social Security, for unemployment, for workers' comp, for medical leave, and for health care. Social Security, this is when we retire. It's money, it's probably like 40% of our paycheck, normally, and it's put aside for when we retire, when we maybe become disabled, and it's there so we can collect it. This is not the same as your paycheck. This is not something you can live off of, so don't take my word for it. Unemployment insurance, this is a way of getting some money when you're unemployed to get through the hardship. It comes through your employer's experience ratio, which is a 3-year period divided by the amount of payroll that they have given out in that same amount of period. So it's not exactly your paycheck, but it's something to get you through the times. I didn't think it was going to be that long. Alright, so the next one is workers' comp. And if you ever watch Shameless, then you're probably an expert on this. But some people might not know. And this is something to help you when you're disabled. If you are on the job and suddenly you get hurt and you can't work for an extended amount of period of time, you will be able to get some sort of money, some sort of reimbursement for that time that you can't work, as long as you can provide like a doctor's note that you can't work. The Family and Medical Leave Act is a 12-week period that a job with 50 or more employees at a firm has to require. These 12 weeks aren't paid, but they're pretty much meant for if you have a child, if your family gets injured, or if you get injured and can't work. Which brings me to healthcare. And healthcare is something that we want. You want healthcare at a job. If you don't have healthcare at a job, it's almost like there's no point of having the job. Just find another job with healthcare. Because this provides your family with benefits, this provides you with benefits, this provides, you know, an extensive amount of medical things that you need, just because, you know, you never know when you're going to get sick, and you never know what's going to happen to your family or anything. So if you're working hard, you want to make sure you're doing it. Selection of benefits, again, it's very complex. You know, there's some jobs that give their employees the benefits that they need on the job. If a construction worker is in the line of danger, they're going to have certain benefits that others aren't. Personally, I don't really have much experience with compensation. I get money, that's it. Benefits, I don't get them. I don't work at jobs. My dad, on the other hand, works at ShopRite, and he got his finger crushed in a meat grinder. Gone. And ShopRite gave him workers' comp. It's been about a year. He still can't move it. And we, fortunately, have Blue Cross Blue Shield. And they provided us with money, and they paid for all his medical stuff. Unfortunately, because it's workers' comp, he can't file a lawsuit. So we're kind of he's stuck without a pinky. But, you know, we'll get through it. Who needs a pinky? I broke mine. So that's compensation and benefits. And next up is my buddy Ken.
Thank you. How's everybody doing today? We're talking about firing. I have 6 minutes and 40 seconds to tell you about the saddest but most badass part of HR. You literally have the power. Yeah. All right, so you're fired. Again, I'm going to cover topics today. How to fire someone appropriately, how not to fire someone, or fire them inappropriately, things to do, how to keep your job, how to lose your job. So I have 2 scenarios coming up. So we have our good friend, Brian, right here, and Wyatt, and we are going to take out the trash. So this is going to be the not how to fire someone, and that's going to be the appropriate way to fire someone. So in this example, the inappropriate way, you'll see this in movies a lot, TV shows. Basically, thumbs up, you got to get hyped. So this is like you loosen a button, you come in, this is Brian's office, you kick down the door, here's his stuff, it's gone. You say, Brian, get the hell out. That's wrong. You can be so many lawsuits, he could be offended in so many ways, emotional, it'll come back to haunt you, and no one ever does that. So the more appropriate way is you sit down with Wyatt here. Wyatt, I'm sorry, you didn't meet our numbers this month. Unfortunately, I had to fire you. So more like appropriate, kind of leave on good terms, note, and yeah. So make sure you don't do that one. All right, employment. Basically, how to keep your job, how to lose your job. It's so simple. Everyone here probably has a job or worked a simple job, do stuff for your parents. It all comes back to this. All right, so terminated. This is so easy. How do you lose your job? You arrive late, you lie, you cheat, steal, sleep, harassment, not on our time, you want to be a creep, do it outside the walls. And the company policies. It is important to read the handbook when you get it because you can easily be fired for violating policies. This is very important. How to keep your job. It's very simple, people. This is from me to you. You arrive early. You work hard. You follow the handbook. Be respectful. Have a positive attitude. Smile. It won't kill you. It's not that hard. Yeah. So don't lose your job. Okay, the hardships. Firing can be very awkward. It sucks. I know Brian. I know his family. He has 3 kids and a wife, dog, cat, bird, whatever. He's losing his job. He is making no income. He has to go find another job. It's really hard to do. I know him for 10 years. It sucks. Heartbreaking, stressful, emotional, and combative. Be ready for people to come at you. The walk of shame. So, when you fire someone, you give them an escort back to the desk, pick up not all your belongings, maybe your cell phone, keys, wallet, then you escort them out of the building. You do not want them there. They'll start cursing and yelling and telling everyone to quit. Also, they will come back at the end on their own time to clean out their desk. Some legal issues. Employment at will. You signed this for New Jersey. I signed this for my internship. Basically, if they're not discriminating me, they can walk up to my desk and say, Ken, you're fired. They don't need to tell you why, when, how. Employment at will. You sign it. Discrimination. Reasons they cannot fire you. Race, creed, color, age, gender, gay, lesbian, straight, disability, military, and pregnancy. If you're pregnant, they have to give you a certain amount of time. Same with disability. And yeah, so make sure if you're ever fired for any of these reasons you think to get a lawyer. Your severance package. So if you were a good employee, but they're making cuts, and unfortunately you have to go, sometimes you will get a severance package. Basically, it's money. It could be a month's pay, it could be 2 months' pay, it could be a year, depending on how much they like you, how long you've been there. But if you suck, you're not getting any money. You're going to be in this line. So unemployment. It is important to collect unemployment when you lose your job. You still need that money to come in. It's very easy. Lose your job, go sign up, find it online. There's also office buildings, probably in your local area. Update your resume. So, you lose your job, that's alright, got to get back in the game, got to get hyped up, you're going to find a new job, we're going to make more money, it's all going to work out. Go home, update your resume, don't say they fire you, say left on, I don't know, decent terms. It wasn't working out for you.